Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel where we discuss leadership, influence, and personal growth. If you want to become the kind of leader people will trust, willingly follow, today is especially for you. We're talking about emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. What is emotional intelligence? It is the ability to understand your own emotions, manage them effectively, and understand the emotions of others. You first must understand your own emotion as a leader. You must learn how to manage your emotions effectively. And also you must understand the emotions of others. That's your teammates, your every other person on your team. You must take time to understand their emotions. So it's not just about how smart you are, because emotional intelligence is not a function of it's not IQ, it's not your intelligence quotient. So you have some smart leaders who do not have emotional intelligence. So you can be very high on your uh, intelligence quotient and close to zero on your emotional intelligence. So it's important as a leader to understand that your emotions needs to be understood, and the emotions of your teammates also must be understood. So it's not just about how smart you are, honestly. It's about you being aware of who you are. So a leader with emotional intelligence understands their triggers. You must understand what triggers your emotions, and they also understand when they are stressed. So they know when they are reacting emotionally, and instead of allowing emotions to control them, they are able to control their responses. You would wonder that the same thing happens to different people, and you have different outcomes uh, in the same scenario because they have different reactions to that same issue. So, take for instance, a story was told about a gentleman who was on his way to an interview, and getting on the road, a car passed by him, and I guess the car got him stained. Uh, the first person started and he was quarreling with the driver. He quarreled with the driver so much so that he was late for his interview. But when they repeated the next scenario, the same scenario with another person, that person immediately understood that he needed to immediately go back home, have a change of clothes, and then dash straight to his interview. So there is one that allowed uh, his emotions to rule him, thereby he got stained by the car that passed him, and he still went on to lose, or rather to miss his interview. But the other person got stained by the car that passed by him, but immediately understood that he needed to rush back home and then have a change of clothes and then pursue his dream so as to ensure that he catches up with his interview. So, if you look at these two scenarios, you would say that one is emotionally intelligent, but the other is not emotionally intelligent. So, a leader with emotional intelligence understands their triggers. So, you must know what triggers you, and you must understand why exactly you need to check those triggers so that you don't lose your focus as leaders. Why is emotional intelligence important as a leader? Uh, we found out that leaders with high emotional intelligence build trust easily. They get to build trust easily. In a situation, take for instance a leader who got to work and he did not see one of his teammates. He then placed the call across to the person, and he then got to realize that that fellow just lost a dear one that morning. rather than go on to probably accuse the person for not showing up at work, the leader immediately begins to sympathize with that teammate. Take it on the toggle. There are some leaders that when they place a call like that, they then hear what has happened. They still go on to ask, I mean, just to pretend as if that really does not bother them. So, an emotionally intelligent leader is very sensitive to his environment. He gets to understand what exactly he needs to do per time. He's not fixated on issues. He's very, very observant, and he ensures that he communicates clearly without intimidation. So it's also important to say that when a leader is emotionally intelligent, they tend to handle conflict without destroying relationships. You can handle conflict without necessarily destroying your relationships. Like one of my friends would say, that they would leaders will ask you to go to hell, and you then look forward to the trip. You know, so it's important to know how to handle conflict and ensure that relationships are intact um, after that scenario. Don't forget that people do not leave organizations, they basically leave leaders who lack emotional intelligence. So if you hear employees leave organization, probably, and you read their exit notes, you would find out that they probably are leaving because some things are not right in the way they think they've been treated. And the buildings of the organizations don't treat staff in any way. It's the people, the leaders in that organization that truly matters. So people don't leave the organization, they probably leave toxic leaders, they leave leaders who do not have emotional intelligence. So it's important to say that a leader may be very brilliant, uh, he may be very strategic and experienced, but without emotional intelligence, their influence will be very limited on their team. So, a key determinant in appointing leaders of the present business, the business of nowadays, is to look for people that are really emotionally intelligent. So this is very important for us as leaders. So the question then is that um, what do we then look for in the daily leadership? So we found out that emotional intelligence helps us to stay calm when everyone is panicking. You would wonder how a pilot of a plane, or the captain of a ship, so a pilot of a plane that is about to crash, or the pilot of a sinking ship, how on earth are they able to stay calm even at that time that everything looks like hell is going to be let loose? So you need to stay calm. There will be problems, but a leader that is emotionally intelligent will try as much as possible to keep his cool and become, so that people do not get negative signals from that leader. There's what you call emotional contagion. When a leader is agitated, every team member becomes agitated. When a leader looks calm, the tendency is that every team member becomes calm. This has been tested. I mean, if you get into a house, take for instance, and you see everybody laughing, the tendency is that you start laughing. But if you get into a room and you see everybody in a very sober mood, people crying, it will be almost impossible for you to laugh. You probably would want to also, because you'll be asking, what has happened? What really has gone wrong? Your emotions change just because of the emotions of people around you. So that's emotional contagion. So a leader knows that his emotion dictates at times, most often than not, the emotions of others. So he tries as much as possible to stay calm, even when things go wrong. A leader that is emotionally intelligent also listens to understand. and he doesn't just listen to respond. So you must, as a leader, listen to understand what your teammates or team members are saying, not just to listen because you want to respond. Okay. They also have the tendency of listening more and speaking less, because when you listen more, you have the tendency of being able to address issues after you have thought about those what the issue is. And then an emotionally intelligent leader will also have the tendency of correcting someone without necessarily embarrassing them. So you must ensure that you're able to correct your team members. You are able to train them. If you see something go wrong, chip in your opinion without necessarily embarrassing them. And then an emotionally intelligent leader also must be able to apologize when you are wrong. I mean, everybody is human. Even as a leader, you are human. So there's a tendency that you're wrong. And when you're wrong, it doesn't cost so much to apologize. You find out that lieutenants look out for all these in their leaders, and it makes them respect their leaders more. So emotionally intelligent leaders create environments where people feel heard, they feel valued, and they also feel respected. And when people feel that way, they naturally give their best on the job or on the task. So whoever does not feel valued, whoever does not feel listened to, and when your team member does not feel respected, the tendency is that they are not going to give their best to the team. So it's important that every leader begins to work on their emotional intelligence. You need to listen more, you need to speak less, you need to respect others, you need to ensure that people's opinion counts. You are not the kind of leader that comes around and just reels out what your opinion or your intentions are without ever taking feedbacks from your team. This is very, very essential. And then it's important to say that emotional intelligence is not optional for leaders. It is very, very essential. If you see a team that has a very good trajectory in terms of performance, the tendency is that their team lead is very, very intelligent emotionally. The more you grow emotionally, the stronger your leadership abilities become. It's very important for us as leaders to work on our emotional intelligence, not only on our intelligence quotient, because that is what we've always had to deal with. Oh, is he a smart person? They say yes, he's a smart person, bring him on board. But we've seen a whole lot of very wrong hiring, very wrong recruiting, because it's no longer enough for someone to be okay with high intelligence quotient, but it's now very important for anybody occupying a leadership position to also have very high emotional intelligence. If this video has helped you in any way, please like, subscribe, and share with someone who is growing in leadership. And if you have any idea of what sort of emotional intelligence you're working on right now, please drop it in the comment section and then we can talk about it. Thank you all very much. See you in the next video.